driveformen.com. Free shipping. Get lean, boost and burn. Their hottest product in the summer. All right, Jason McIntyre, former newspaper guy. We came up with something a couple years ago, and we do it every Friday where he predicts the big headlines from around the corner.
How early were we on Ben Simmons last week or 2 weeks ago? It was money.
You've had some weird ones, yes, but a lot of your crazy lunacy is right. So that's why we keep bringing you on. So let's start with the NBA Finals starting next Thursday. So tomorrow's headlines today. What's the headline going to be if the Suns face Milwaukee?
We will do both. Right now, we think it's going to be Suns-Bucks. The headline will be Deer dominated in the desert. The Phoenix Suns are going to win the title, Colin.
Yes.
We know this. It's a little anticlimactic, right? I mean, the Suns had the easiest path to the finals ever. You know, Anthony Davis goes down. Jamal Murray's not there. Kawhi Leonard doesn't play. Now Giannis, we'll see if he plays, but it feels like, hey, Chris Paul's going to win the championship. Let's give the Suns their props. Congratulations, Devin Booker. Enjoy your vacation with Kendall Jenner. And the Suns are champions. Let's just move on to the next season, right? Is that not how it feels, Colin?
Yeah, and I think they're also, I get kind of the same performance every game where Milwaukee. Does Middleton show? Does Budenholzer make adjustments?
Yeah.
Does Giannis hit free throws? I kind of feel like even the game Phoenix lost at home to the Clippers, they fell in a hole. They were a little tight. But in the end, you sort of got what you always get with Phoenix.
And should Giannis come back, let's remember, Jay Crowder was on last year's Miami Heat team that shut down Giannis in the playoffs. So I do think the Suns roll. I'm ready to call it a sweep. Could be a gentleman's sweep. But either way, Suns roll.
Tomorrow's headlines today. What would the headline be if the Suns faced Atlanta and the Hawks?
Well, that would be exciting. Trae Young maybe returns. It would be incredible. The headline will be Ice Trae melts in the desert. Listen, the heat wave on the West Coast is brutal, so we got to have fun with that. But Atlanta, what a story, Colin. If you look at who they played last game, you go down the entire roster, 0 career All-Star games for everybody on the Hawks. How are they here? Well, they kind of got lucky in the first round of the Knicks team. Who did Trae Young face in that Knicks backcourt? You can't even name the guys. Against Philadelphia, Ben Simmons melts down. And then this round, you know, it's like Drew Holiday and Dante DiVincenzo's hurt. It's like you go up against Chris Paul and Devin Booker, and Trae Young's going to be in big-time trouble. That is going to be a struggle. Trae Young's been transcendent in these playoffs. So the Hawks, I would say, have no chance of winning a game against the Bucks in the finals.
All right, tomorrow's headlines today. Headline for the Bucks-Hawks tomorrow.
Okay, Game 6. I know you're making your Saturday night, July 4th weekend. This is all about Game 6, right?
Hawks-Bucks.
You're not doing anything. Even
right.
Giannis, Trae Young. The headline for Game 6 will be not weak without the freak. I think even without Giannis, best 2 guys on the court, Middleton, right, and Holiday. Who's the 3rd best player on the court if Trae Young and Giannis don't play? Is it Brook Lopez? Do the Bucks really have the 3 best players in Game 6? I don't know. Colin, Saturday night NBA, it's probably fantastic, but I know Joy's got better plans. I'm sure you have big-time things going on, and you know me, I'm a family man. So it's going to be a tough sell for the NBA, but I love the Bucks in this one. I've been betting on games in the playoffs for Fox, picking every game. I think this one's a layup. The Bucks win.
All right. Now some potential NBA trade news, which dominated our show today. Tomorrow's headlines today. Damian Lillard, what's the headline this offseason?
So I love this Damian Lillard story. People are saying Anthony Davis. I don't think it's Anthony Davis. The headline will be, by George, I think we got Dame. How about Paul George leaving the Clippers, trading him to Portland in exchange for Damian Lillard?
It's not crazy because it's what Portland needs.
Yes, and Portland, think about this. They're not going to get a team to give up 3 or 4 number 1 picks for a guy who's about to turn 31 years old. Damian Lillard this month turned 31. So where can you find a quasi-big star, Paul George, top 15 player? And you got to wonder if Kawhi Leonard says, hey, I will resign, but can we upgrade at point guard? Because I mean, like, you know, Reggie Jackson was fun. You're going to have to pay him? Do they have money for that?
No, this is really smart. Kawhi doesn't talk much, but he does occasionally go to an exec and say, I need this.
Yes.
And the bottom line is what the Clippers need is Dame, and seriously, C.J. McCollum, 70% of him. C.J. McCollum and Paul George is still a playoff team.
Right. Oh, no doubt. In the West, they're top 7, maybe top 6. But I really think the idea of Dame and Kawhi, boy, if you're Kawhi Leonard, remember, he stole Paul George. LeBron wanted Paul George in L.A. a couple years ago, okay? Kawhi steals Paul George, and now he gets Dame Lillard, who LeBron is tight with. That would just add to the Lakers-Clippers rivalry. It's spicy, and the key here is, will Dame Lillard say, I want out, I'm done, the fans are getting on my case for the Chauncey Billups stuff?
By the way, it's also easier for Dame to go to the Clippers than the Lakers. There's always that kind of sellout feel. You go to the Lakers. But if you go to the Clippers, they don't have any titles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like there is some value for Dame. Like, I'm not going to a ready-made team. They've disappointed the last 2 years.
Yeah, as tough, I would love it if Dame joined LeBron and Anthony Davis, but what are you going to do? Kuzma, Horton, Tucker, Dennis Schroeder.
You got to get a. That's why Ben Simmons worries me. He's the opposite of Dame.
Yes.
Dame's wildly fun to watch. Simmons' game is increasingly boring.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. I just keep an eye. Dame Lillard for Paul George. Kind of equal. Dame Lillard's a better player.
Yes.
But Paul George, is a two-way player. Dame Lillard don't play any defense. No disrespect, Dame. I know you're a fan and watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
All right. Tomorrow's headlines today. A lot of Donovan Mitchell uncertainty. D. Wade, now part owner of the Jazz, is concerned.
This is probably the next big star. We got Dame Lillard, Ben Simmons, and will Donovan Mitchell be the third star to demand a trade? The headline will be Mitchell done with all that jazz. Now, this is spicy. One of the producers I work with really like this. What if Donovan Mitchell, there's a big article in the Salt Lake Tribune today talking about how Mitchell kind of not feeling the fans all of a sudden in Utah. They're getting on his case because he's unhappy with the way the season ended. And listen, that was a bad loss with no Kawhi.
And he and Rudy Gobert have issues.
They've had issues in the past. What if Donovan Mitchell said, I'm out of here, and the Detroit Pistons said, hey, look at us. We can't get stars. We'll give you the number 1 pick and whatever you want. The number 1 pick to Utah for Donovan Mitchell. If you are Detroit, I think you've got to jump at that, right? Donovan Mitchell hits, you got to take him over the number 1 pick. Do you not?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the number 1 pick, Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green.
Suggs. Cade Cunningham's very good.
They're all scoring guards.
Donovan Mitchell, I believe, is the 6th leading scorer in playoff history, points per game. The guy just gets buckets in the postseason. Made the playoffs all 4 years in Utah. I know the Knicks will definitely.
By the way,
Knicks will throw the kitchen sink at Utah, but I think Detroit's got a better offer with the number 1 pick.
Give me a player Detroit could throw in.
Jeremy Grant is a really nice player. He was a borderline all-star for them. The salaries probably match up if you throw in some filler. But, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is holding all the cards here. And, we know Karl Malone and John Stockton stayed forever. Colin, these stars are getting what they want in the NBA now.
They are.
That's another segment. Do you agree with that is good. But listen, if you can get Donovan Mitchell in your Detroit, I think you've got to trade the number 1 pick in a heartbeat.
Boy, this was spicy.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite shows in a long time.
It's good to be back, by the way. Thank you for the invite to the couch. I mean, it feels good to be back.
It's great to have Jason McIntyre back. Now, no, we're not going to rush all the guests back.
The top priority guys come in early, right?
Yes, and your hygiene's excellent. So we know you've been good with the hand wash.
Oh, certainly, yeah.